anime avatars threaten your rightful supremacy.
Hello, everybody. This is Louis, also known as Too Fluent, and today I have a special guest. We have with us CJ, which was the winner for the Courtesan Cup, June 2024 in Baltimore. How you doing, CJ?
And I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Very good. Appreciate you meeting me over audio here on a Sunday, and I appreciate your time. And I just wanted to ask you a few questions and kind of get to know you a little better and kind of pick your brain about sorcery in general, and then also we'll have a nice match.
Cool, of course, and thanks for having me on.
Alrighty. So, just kind of overall, what was your experience with the Courtesan Cup? Do you think it was a success? Did you have fun? What are your thoughts?
I loved it. The whole thing was really a whole lot of fun. Like the community around Sorcery is just absolutely incredible. It was so cool to like meet face to face with so many people who I've been playing online over Discord with in Tabletop Simulator for like months now. Um, so yeah, I just thought it was so much fun. I do wish I had more time to like see all of the side things. I didn't really get any like side events in, or I didn't spend as much time like seeing all the art that I would have liked. Um, but yeah, the whole thing was just a whole lot of fun. It was really incredible.
Absolutely, and I know what you mean. I got to play in the Courtesan Cup on day one. I didn't make top 32, so I was able to, I suppose, hang out and meet the artist a little more on day two. But overall, like for me as well, I thought it was fun. I think it exceeded my expectations. And absolutely, I think next time it'll be great, to try to catch, a seminar or workshop with an artist or just do more stuff aside from the main event. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
okay, so I see you won with a deck called Ragnarok, which is the Avatar Seer, and it is what one would call a roots deck. Uh,
They might call it that. Yeah.
yeah, some folks might call that a roots deck. What do you think were some standout opponents or other deck matchups that were tough for this particular deck they were piloting?
Sure. So, I thought that like, at least from my limited experience at the Cup, right? I played against some really good players, and it turned out like at the end of day one that my breaker points were like as high as they could be, which essentially meant that the people I played were all basically top 32 or pretty close. So everyone I played against was just phenomenal. And they piloted their decks really well. I usually have pretty easy matchups into Battle Mage and Enchantress, and I think I got doored by both Battle Mage and Enchantress.
Oh wow!
And so that just means like they were doing really well. They were really tight matches. I got doored by both of them and then came back and was able to win those matches, but I think the competition was really stiff. Decks that I have trouble with, at least at the Cup, is basically somebody running Bedrock. My two losses on day one were to Geo Roots, which is always a terrible matchup for us, because my deck is consistent about getting the Roots combo. I popped Roots in every game I played, and I usually did it by turn 6 or 7.
Right,
But if they have three Bedrocks out, it doesn't do much. Mine's kind of like a combo tempo deck. The whole idea is that you get Amazon Warriors, get 5 sites, have a forward Bedrock, pop Roots, and then play an Amazon Warriors the same turn to set everybody back to like turn one. But you have a 5 power beater that's just gonna apply pressure. And typically the removal for that is like 3 mana, right? So bury or disintegrate, maybe polymorph if they get lucky with their threshold.
hmm
Um, so basically, I'm representing 15 unanswered damage, and I just have to close the game out. But if
right,
you're able to have three bedrocks out, you just go to your turn, you bury my Amazon Warrior, and it's like I didn't do anything. Um,
right.
so yeah, I lost to Geomancer Roots, which is pretty tough matchup for this deck. And then Mike or Bloom on Discord was running a Mono Earth Sorcerer mid range. And I think his first 3 sites were Bedrock, Mirror Realm, the Bedrock, Bedrock. So I was like, oh, guess I'm dead.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, he,
Okay.
he crushed me. It was like 18-0 or something.
Wow. What was your record overall?
Those are my only two losses day one. I got the bye, so games that were actually played, I was 4-2.
Okay.
I guess it's 5-2 if you count the bye, but I didn't
Right.
have to play the first round.
Okay. Understand. And then on your second date, what was your record there?
4-0. Yeah,
Okay. Perfect.
they were best of 3 matches, but I
I
took them
see.
all, so it was nice.
Cool. All
Oh, and
right.
then there was the draft, but that was a different deck.
Oh, you played a draft? How'd you do in that?
3-0. Yeah, they
Nice.
they split the top 32 into 4 pods, and we passed around kind of like a box essentially, just 3 packs, did a draft, and then we played within our pod, and the top player from each pod is who made it to the final four.
All right. So not only did you win the Courtesan Cup, but you slayed it on a draft event. Very good.
It was I did not think I would do that well, but I had a nice aggressive little like low to the ground deck that was just very consistent.
Yeah. No, that's probably the route I would take, which would be kind of minions that are low to cast, maybe something with charge. But yeah, absolutely. So what we all know that Roots is a threat, and obviously you won with a Roots deck. But what do you think would be a card or a deck type that would be well that would do well against your deck, or could even quote unquote counter it?
I mean, like big Earth decks do really well, right? So, if you run Bedrock, that makes it a harder match for me to win. I basically just have to pivot into a mid-range deck myself. So if you're running higher value minions than me, then that's not great for me. Um, so obviously things with Bedrock is the simple answer. There are more complicated answers. Kendalamus Monks is a little bit difficult because if I pop roots and your monk dies, then I don't get to follow that up with a tempo play. You can play around it, but it's not like a simple, easy victory. Avatar of Air, the birds list that Kevin was running for the season 4 championship, is actually really hard to counter with our deck. And we are essentially tied to having to get Sinkhole. And that seems easy because my deck is built around turning through the Atlas. Like day one of the Courtesan Cup, I saw 10 sites on turn one in 3 games. So it's
Oh,
pretty consistent that I'm going to get through almost my entire Atlas. But if I have to spend a turn drawing the sinkhole that I would otherwise, or sorry, not sinkhole, smokestacks of Knack, if I have to take an extra turn to draw that site in addition to everything else I'm doing, it just means I'm going to get my combo a turn later than normal. And the birds deck is very aggressive, and they have the potential to door me before I'm able to do anything like that. So that's just a very strong deck that is very hard to beat unless we get smokestacks. Reason being that if I pop roots on them and they follow that up with a bottomless pit, I can't actually apply any pressure.
okay.
Um, and then I'm testing around some new ideas to counter it. I haven't actually like tried the matchup yet, but I think that if you can make discard work, my deck doesn't run a single draw spell other than I guess Land Surveyor counts. So if you can force me to discard either Roots or Sinkhole or any of the spells I'm relying on to win, I'm probably sunk.
Okay. Yeah, and that's interesting. I know in my seven matches in the first day, I did play one Geo Roots, and granted, it's not
Mm-hmm.
Seer, so it's probably not as quick to get the premium sites it needs. But I
Mm-hmm.
was running Avatar Earth, and I was actually able to beat it um, pretty easily. Obviously, I did get my couple of bedrocks out, but I think just using like Earthquake and Atlas Wanderers to kind of separate the roots from a sinkhole, if you will, was able to kind of keep it off that effect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but overall, I mean,
No.
they're definitely a threat. Root stacks for sure.
And that's kind of the things that like my deck kind of banks on is that I have a really hard time beating Geomancer roots, but like Avatar of Earth can just run it over. And so opponents going into tournaments have to consider like, oh, how likely am I to run into Avatar of Earth? I think the answer is pretty likely. Um, and so if your deck just folds to that, are you going to run Geo roots in the tournament? And so I kind of had to bank on people being afraid of you so that they wouldn't run what I'm afraid of.
Right, I see. Okay. No, that makes total yeah, lots of sense there. Did you play against any other root stacks?
I've practiced against one of my buddies actually brought Ragnarok to the tournament as well, and we
Oh,
practiced that match I think just once. Um, and it's a fun matchup. It doesn't really come down to roots. It comes down to again bedrocks. If the plan is to blow up the world, it's the person who has more mana is gonna do fine. So you
Absolutely.
just kind of dig for bedrocks instead.
Okay. Um. So, do you think the Courtesan Cup, let's say if it were to come back next year, do you think it should be held at Baltimore or should it move to another city?
Question. I'm obviously biased because I'm local.
Ah,
I live 20 minutes from Baltimore, so it was like a 30-minute or 20-minute drive in each morning.
nice.
So obviously, I'd love for it to be here because it makes it really easy. I get to stay in my comfy bed, save some money on hotel costs, and I get to hang out with my dogs before. Like I was telling you before, it's kind of a nice way to, I don't know, not stress about the tournament when you're like out in the woods with your dogs for a 5 mile hike before you go in there. You're like, okay, now it's time to play. But it was a nice like way for me to reset my brain and you know try to just get out of my own way and get out of my own nerves was doing that. So I hope it's in Baltimore, but I could completely understand why something that was one of the largest national tournaments and had, you know, qualifying events all over the nation. I think it would make sense to be somewhere else as well. Um, but selfishly, it's nice that it was in my backyard.
Yeah, and there's no real right or wrong answer to that. We I personally traveled from Florida. I made it a whole trip, and it was fun. I just some feedback was if it was closer to other folks, maybe they would have gone. So maybe a traveling Courtesan Cup would be cool because maybe they would kind of change up the player pool, so to speak.
Yeah,
But that being said, Baltimore was a very fun city to travel to and visit. Lots of history there, and I got to do some stuff with the family outside of the event, and just the venue
mm,
too. It was a really nice hotel,
it was
and
gorgeous. Yeah.
it was very pretty. It had the whole floor set up for the event, a couple of floors actually, and I think it just like worked well. So again, no real right or wrong answer. Just interested in on your thought there. Let's see
Yeah, no,
here.
I loved all the whole event was really fun, and that was the other nice thing about being in Baltimore is where I knew where there was pretty good food, so
Nice.
I got to have some of my favorite restaurants while I was playing in the cup.
That's cool. Are you going to be going to Gen Con or Sorcery Con or any other events the rest of this year?
I'm not planning on going to Gen Con, and it's kind of funny. I wasn't planning on going to Sorcery Con, but I asked my wife. I was like, "Well, if I win the cup, can I go?" And she's like, "Sure, babe." So I I actually won, so I get to go to Vegas. He was like,
That's
"Yep, I did say that."
that's cool. You gotta, I guess, protect that title. Um,
Yeah,
Absolutely. Did you play any other events earlier in the year? I would say you played that qualifier, but were you marching on Immortals or anything like that?
didn't do March of the Mortals. I did the online Sorcery League on Discord, and I got
Okay.
second there.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you're playing
Yeah.
pretty consistently out there. Wow. Good.
Uh, I, 2 for 2. We'll see about. Hopefully, I can keep it going. But yeah,
Alrighty.
and I got second in the February qualifier, so I got to break my streak of second place.
Okay. Cool. Let's see here. So, what is your favorite card from Alpha or Beta?
That's a great question. It's kind of a funny answer too. I Rudosaurus asked me this after the cup, and I had never. I guess I had thought about it, and then I forgot, and then like my opinions had changed. But I think it's Avatar of Air. I think I
Oh,
have about as much fun losing a game piloting Avatar of Air as I do winning with anything else, just because I love movement. Um,
okay.
Coming from like another TCG, that's just not a part of the game really. Things might have flying, but it's not really something you can like physically play around with. But the grid system here and like the movement, especially granted by Avatar of Air, is so much fun. I have a jank deck that's Wind Sylphs, Nightmare, and Avatar of Air, and it's just all about moving everything, and it's really fun.
That,
It doesn't
that,
win very often, but it's very fun.
absolutely. No, that's a really interesting. Obviously, amazing art on it. It's one of
Yes.
the OG Elemental avatars. Wasn't reprinted in beta, so the card is kind of a premium. If you have it, it's one of those that, it's probably as more folks join and future sets get released, it'll be a more sought after avatar for
Mm-hmm.
sure. I think it's probably up there. I would say on par with Avatar of Earth in its potential, especially in its potential as more cards are released for it to synergize.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. The stronger air gets, the more powerful Avatar of Air gets.
Absolutely. Okay. So, what cards are going on with that? What cards do you think will become stronger as more sets are released?
Got so many. I mean, so there are some mechanics that are underutilized, and there are mechanics that are good already and are only likely to get better. Like Enchantress is really good, but there's like a limited number of auras, and I think that anytime they release a new aura, the question is it going to be broken in Enchantress? So I think that's likely to get better. Even if they try to keep it down, some unique aura is going to come out and just be absolutely busted in Enchantress. I think that Kythera Mechanism, they've already shown a tendency towards like randomness, and then
Mhm.
thus like Highland Princess. The fact that you can fetch all one drop artifacts is pretty strong. So every
Mhm.
time they release a new one drop artifact, that's just something else that's going to be utility for her to get. Um, Raise Dead. If we can actually get a consistent discard outlet, then you could theoretically be seeing a turn one Raise Dead with a what's it called? A mix, which could
Mhm.
be insane. Can you imagine like a turn two Lord of the Void or something? Like, oh, discard Lord of the Void, turn one, turn two, Raise Dead with a tower.
It's interesting you say
Yeah.
that because I was playing earlier today a Crave Golem Catamonk's deck, and
Oh, you mean the fun deck
the fun deck. I don't know. It was a
for
it
one
was a
person playing?
it was a little bit of a lengthy game because there's a bit of
Mhm.
setup for that, but uh, the opponent had a place at a raised that, and just the value of being able to fetch, like say Grandmaster Wizard early on and be able to spam that 3 card draw. I was like, wow, that's very annoying.
Yeah, no, it's I call it the fun deck because people were talking about my deck after the cup and being like, "Oh man, this is like really strong. It's very consistent and it's not super fun to play against." And I was like, "That's fair," and I completely agree. But like, at least I didn't bring extra turns.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I'm afraid of that breaking. I'm so excited that there's no. I'm not participating in any constructed tournaments outside of I guess the league Discord
Mhm.
until the Arthurian Legends come out,
Okay.
and then I think if somebody breaks the Candelamas Monk combo, that'll be the I don't know. That'll be my nightmare. So I'm really glad that it hasn't been broken yet, and we're almost to a new set, so I don't have to play against that for months.
Okay. Well, uh, playing that deck today though, I was playing a deck that I've been brewing, and I haven't played it much, but it kind of became the anti Candlemonk deck because the way it plays, it just would not
Nice.
allow for that to set up. So I'm gonna keep that deck kind of like hidden in archives until someone breaks it. So I'm like, okay, I have the answer.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. All right, so
Yeah, I like that. It's good to have a counter ready to go.
you're right, but it's very specific. So you gotta the meta is always changing, which is fun with sorcery. But
Mm-hmm.
what's today's strong deck? People try to counter it, but someone's playing something totally different in the next event. So uh, the counters can kind of sometimes become irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So so have you seen the spoilers? The new cards coming out for Arthurian Legends.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty excited. I think that there was this consensus that like alpha and beta were so good and so fun and so like versatile that
Hmm.
we were just hoping that Sorcery was gonna like continue to do, Eric Serioso is gonna continue to make like fun, interesting cards without making like, you know, absolutely broken chase cards that make the game unfun. And
Right.
the ones that they've released so far look awesome.
Cool. Which was your favorite?
Oh, Siege Giant for sure. I mean, I I already mentioned how much I love movement,
Uh huh.
and now Siege Giant has it's like a red avatar of air. You can throw your root spiders at people, throw your
Uh-huh.
kobolds, throw them right into a jihad. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so busted.
Throwing a spider at somebody seems very scary, especially if you have arachnophobia. But yeah, that definitely sounds fun.
Because it doesn't cause the minion to move and it doesn't require it to be off of like summoning sickness. So if you just throw
Hmm.
it down on top, you throw like your Siege Giant down where you have a Root Spider. You chuck the Root Spider and you can burrow it and disable their minions all in one turn.
Absolutely. No, there's definitely lots of things that were said right after it was released on Discord. Some combos like possibly throwing pit vipers at somebody and having the pit vipers like even move another step and kill a threat, or even throwing kobolds at a more opportune site and be able to use kobolds more effectively. Yeah, there's definitely lots of things that we want to throw around in a realm. So that definitely sounds like a fun card to play.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. I'm not excited to have somebody throw their pudge at me, but I am excited.
That's fun. That sounds like something I'm definitely trying to see what I can do to make work. You know, I made some suggestions of probably using like an overpower on the siege giant, making it strong enough to throw a pudge,
Mm.
which sounds
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it's gonna be really cool. Like I said, I love all that stuff, so I'm very stoked for it.
All right. Well, I am going to see how my wolves stack up against Ragnarok. So I have a TTS table loaded.
So I already told you I'm a little scared of wolves, believe it or not. I don't know that wolves is always the most consistent deck, but it's actually kind of hard for Ragnarok to deal with it because you can just like show up with I don't know 21 damage on turn 4.
Cool, cool. Well, we could
Cool.
harrow.
Sure, if you want. I'm good either way. Wow.
I got a whopping one.
18. Woo. Oh wow. All right. So I'll take the play.
Sure.
Give me a chance against these aggressive wolves.
What's on?
I could just do 1 and 1. Oh no. That's not great.
Mm, I guess I'm keeping this hand.
Sure.
All right, go ahead.
And play Crossroads. Top 4. Oofa doofa. We'll keep that and we will pass.
I'll grab a spell. Tap to play Simple Village, creating a foot soldier and passing turn.
Cool. Probably not. We will draw this, tap, play this friend, go for a common sense and pass.
Okay. I'll grab a spell. Tap to play Bedrock. And
Bedrocks are good.
I will play a wolf. Move that up. Pass turn.
Cool. How interesting. This is a bad choice, but it works for this play, so I'll take it. Smokestack, Kobold to kill the wolf. Pass.
Let's see here. I'll grab a spell. Tap to play a Bedrock.
I just told you my weakness is Bedrocks. What are you doing playing 2 of them?
I mean, it's a fantastic opening hand, I suppose. um, I'll play a Shield Maiden
mm.
and
Shield Maiden's in your wolf deck. Interesting.
I'll move back and I'll actually go ahead.
Sorry, my dogs are barking downstairs. Okay. Bottom. Draw spell. Interesting. At 4. We'll do this to copy Bedrock. I don't really want to come up there because then you can actually kill me. I guess I'll just pass and kill your foot soldier.
Sure.
And yeah, pass the game. Pass the turn.
Okay, I'll grab.
Pass the whole game.
I'll grab that. I will play. Oh boy, this is an interesting one. I'm gonna play a Donnybrook Inn.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I'm gonna play Shield Maidens for 2.
No.
I'm gonna play a Grey Wolf for 1.
Yeah.
And I'll play a Grey Wolf for 1.
Yep.
And I'll pass turn.
Jeez. That is gross. That's interesting. Man, that is a brutal, brutal move. So I can't hit you. You're gonna be beating me up. Okay, okay. And all your things take 2 less damage.
That's correct.
That's what we in the business call bad. We'll bottom this instead then. Draw for turn. Tap. We'll play. Ooh, you and your stuff. All right, I'll just play roots here. You got no sights, and it's not like we can earthquake it. And then, damn, I'm about to take so much damage. Sure, I'll just walk up here and ping dealing 0 damage to any of the things around here, and I'll
Okay,
pass.
sure. I'll grab a spell.
Hmm?
I'll tap to grab a spell. Play a Wolves here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll play Minecart Madness. And
Uh-oh.
I'll swing for 3, 6.
So it's when this one's back there, it's just 2, right? So the first one's 2.
Oh yes, actually you're correct. 2.
Yeah.
And then 3 more.
That one's 3.
That
Yep,
makes sense.
I'll take that damage.
I will attack that for 2.
He will die horribly.
And then I'll chip in another 2 here.
Yeah.
Actually, so we're safe from. No. I don't know if you have cave-ins. May not, but I think that works. So I spent 1, 2, 3 mana. Okay, go ahead.
Sure. Not good for me. This is another question. I guess I should do it like this, just to be correct. So we will draw this for turn, tap Crossroads. Search. No way. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to search all. It's just supposed to be the top 2, but it's literally right there. That's funny. That's pretty funny. Cool. We'll leave that one on top. And then we need a chump blocker, don't we? This will be theoretically you draw for turn, you tap, you draw another one, you can play 3 more wolves. That's basically door. If I don't do anything, it's Oh no, I'm at door whether I block or not. Yeah, wolves are scary. Jump blockers or no jump blockers. I think I go to door this turn, so I'll just pass.
Okay. Let's grab a spell. Tap to grab a spell. Um, play wolves here
Mm-hmm.
for 2, and we'll play wolves here for 2. Um, that's 5, 10. Um, 2 more here.
Mm-hmm.
2 more here. And I might as well move this guy up.
Sure.
And pass turn.
I am doored. Sure, why not? But we'll draw this. I'm gonna pop the roots. I'm at door. That's just rude, my man. Oh no, your bedrock stays.
Oh, okay.
But these guys, oops, sorry. Choose token.
Yeah.
That was here, right?
Yep.
Oh no, that
Yep.
was mine here. And then this is gone there. And that leaves me with 7 mana. We'll play an Amazon. Pass to you.
Alrighty. Let's grab.
I'm having flashbacks from the cut. I got doored before I popped roots 2 games.
Spell, tap, grab an Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm gonna just Grey Wolf here and pass.
Sure. I know what that is. I don't know what this is. That's You're kidding. I don't need a bedrock. I will draw this though. Swing for 5. Tap. Play a step. Kobold. Kill your Grey Wolf at the end of turn. Pass.
Nice. Alright, let's grab. Um, Atlas. No way. Tap. That was spell.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Okay. Cry this. Sure. We could leave that on top. And even draw it for turn, actually. Let's draw. Tap, draw. We'll go unicorn, swing for 2, swing for 5. So 7 damage to you. End of turn, I'll ping my own Amazon.
Sure.
Pass turn.
Let's grab an Atlas. Tap. Let's play Imperial Road here.
Interesting. I'm good. I do not take up
Okay.
your kind offer.
I'll play an Imperial Road here.
It's not good for me.
Still
But yeah,
good.
I'm still good. Thanks.
Okay, that works. Um, I'll play a Tragedy Warrior Ward here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll pass turn.
Okay. Try this. Absolutely not. Draw spell. Tap. I will ping the Worry Wart.
Hmm.
Hit you for 5, 9, and we will do a walk up here.
Mm-hmm.
Play a unicorn back here, I think.
All right, let's see if I get something useful. Not that. Not that. Earthquake would have been clutch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. This game.
Good game.
Good game. Man. Yeah, I mean, I run. I know I run berries, and I know I run earthquakes, but I didn't see any. So no real answers
Yeah, that
for
would
the
be those would be good.
no real answers for the pulse roots big minions.
The
But
beatdowns, yeah,
yeah.
and that's kind of how you hope that they expend their resources before you pop roots, and then
Mhm.
make them scramble to deal with your board after roots.
Yeah. That was
Kind
a
of like
fun
the
game
whole.
though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's why I was like, oh yeah, no, wolves are scary to me. Like they have bad matchups against like Grim Reaper, but
Hmm.
against me, they put so much damage out, and I don't like the idea of wasting minions before I'm gonna pop roots if I'm gonna
Right.
get there.
Right. I see.
And like the turn that I could have played a minion to block you, I was like, oh yeah, no, you play your minions are so big, you're gonna hit me for like 5 or 6 each. So there was no point. I was going to door either way.
Right. No. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Cool,
they're
CJ. Hey,
wolves
man.
are scary.
Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for answering a bunch of my questions. Thanks for
Yeah.
the butt whooping you give me. That was fun. I learned from it actually, so I have some tweaking that I'm gonna do because I know we'll definitely be seeing more roots in future events.
Definitely.
But I think, yeah, I think the Wolves have, like you're saying, they got some potential there. It's just a matter of how do we answer the threats after the roots are popped, and maybe having to rethink the amount of maybe buries I have on my deck could be an idea. So
It's interesting because aggro decks are both really good and bad matchups for this deck, right? Like I've got Entangled Terrain, I've got Quagmire, I've got Gnome Hollows, I've got a lot of tech against them.
hmm
But if you can burst me down and I don't draw that, like that's one of the best ways to stop me from doing my thing. Because you're one burn spell away from killing me, you
yeah,
know. So it's interesting. It's just can you apply enough pressure before I can pop roots, or can you rebuild fast enough afterward?
that's my one prayer for Throwing Legends is can we give Earth a better direct damage spell? Like even if it's just like throw a rock and deal 1 damage. That's all we need.
Yeah. It's Earth is already so good. The fact that it can't do that is kind of like a saving grace because Earth is so strong, right?
Yeah, true.
Like bedrocks and the biggest power minions and the fact that it has some of the best sites in the game like Pillar of Zyros and Gnome Hollows and
Mhm.
Quagmire. So like it's so strong. The fact that it doesn't have charge right now and it doesn't have direct damage is like a saving grace for the rest of us. I guess I'm playing Earth. I'm just meaning in general.
Yeah, no, I totally understand it. Absolutely. Cool. Hey, you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll see you around Discord, and I
Yeah,
appreciate your
man,
time.
absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate it too. Thank you. This was fun.
All right. Have a good one.
Yes, man. You too.